Hi guys, thanks for tuning into Gamecast. As always, you have James, Brad,
Yo!
and Mr. G.
What's happening, everybody?
Unfortunately, Alex can't be with us tonight. He is ill, so we are flying, I guess, solo. It's not solo, there's threes, but there's no fancy word for threes. In triplets? We're flying in triplets? That sounds stupid.
A ménage à trois?
Menage a trois? No, not a threesome. This is PG-13. No. But I digress. Tonight, we are talking about the yearly release of specific games. Titles off the top of my head: Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, every single sports franchise. Whether or not it is a good thing, a lot of people have mixed reviews. A lot of people like the games being released every year. Some people don't. We are going to give you the insights on both sides of the spectrum. And to start, for once, hold on, I'm going to kick it off.
Whoa!
Bam! So my problem is I don't really have a problem with the games coming out yearly. My only issue is when the game that comes out is no different than the game that was out previously, besides an updated roster or not even tweaked graphics, but it's basically reskinned. Case in point, Madden's. I don't know about FIFA's. I played Madden's. Call of Duty's. Battlefields don't really get a yearly release, but they are kind of the same when they come out. My biggest problem is probably going to be Call of Duty, mainly with Ghosts, as many people didn't really like the game. It didn't really hit home with me. I think the last Call of Duty that I actually enjoyed was probably Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops. I mean, Ghost was basically just a reskinning in my opinion. And as far as Madden and any of those sports titles are concerned, I feel an updated roster. So basically, they just work really hard on one game, and they maybe throw in a patch that updates and tweaks some graphics, but mainly it's the updated roster that people buy the next Madden game for. And I guess 4 or 5 years down the line, when they want to upgrade the physics engine, that's cool. I will pay another $60 to get that next installment. But $60 every year when the game isn't any different, why would they do that? And why do people keep buying into it? Main problem I see is, now that it's starting to happen, is Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, I loved the franchise. I played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and then as soon as it got to Revelations and 3, it was getting kind of wary. 4, Liberation, the title for the DS, which one was on the DS?
There are two of them.
Yeah.
Bloodlines and something else.
I mean, not to say that they're rehashing, but if they're going to rehash it, make it an HD remake or make it a remake. Don't make it 1.5 with side missions that could have been DLC or could have been just added on to the game in the first place. I just can't do it, and it's probably why I fell out of the Assassin's Creed franchise as a whole, and why I don't buy into Call of Duty's, because literally Call of Duty, the campaign is maybe 5 hours long, 6 hours long, if that. You buy it for the multiplayer, but why am I going to pay $60 for a multiplayer that is basically the same the last 2 iterations, and it's the same this iteration, except for they changed 2 perks and they added dogs as one of the kill streaks. I don't know about you two. That is my take on it. What about you, Brad?
I mean, I agree with you on kind of on some of the points, and then some of them not so much. The main thing that I don't mind so much about the yearly serialization of some of these games is the fact that there are so many people buying them. Like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. And then, EA's kind of had a serialization. They've been trying to put out a Battlefield and then the next year like a Medal of Honor. So they've tried to have a competitive shooter, to kind of compete with Call of Duty. Not that it can, but the upside to that is that there's a lot of people buying that game, and because of that, that means more console sales, and that means good things for gaming in general. When we sell more consoles, we get more games. When we sell more games, we get more games.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good thing in that respect, but then it also has the kind of deterring or detrimental effect, because you do, with Call of Duty, it's kind of been the same thing, every single year, and hopefully this year with Advanced Warfare, because they now are on a 3-year cycle with their development, and hopefully it'll kind of change things up in the game this time around. Then to the like I said, the detrimental side is, yes, the fact that it's kind of just the same thing over and over and over again, but people want that. People want something new to play. How many times have we heard it? There's nothing new. There's nothing out to play for the new systems right now, and it's like there's a lot of games that are out for it. It's just people don't want to play the certain games that are out for it. They want the new one to come out every single year. They're waiting for that new one to come out every single year. So it has its pluses and minuses. I think one of the games that does it actually pretty well is Assassin's Creed. There were a couple, like Assassin's Creed 3, not so much, wasn't really the best one. A lot of people had high hopes for it, and they kind of fell flat. And then they kind of got short. Like Revelations was pretty short. You could beat it in a few hours, and that was it. But I just think it's something that specific games can do it, and then specific games can't. A sports game, they can put one out every single year. I think with sports games, if they were going to do that, I would say they would do it like a buy release, every 2 years. So do, Madden 2015, and then in, the next year, next summer, put out a patch or a DLC basically for $30, and then you can get that, and then, kind of have that, and then the next year put out a full $60 product, and, have big updates for it, redo the graphics and actually redo the graphics and stuff like that. So those are kind of things that I'd be okay with. But again, it's a business. That's what the business is there for, and they need to make money on it. So I just think that they need to find the franchises that work and do that with them, but don't try to do it with everything that's out there, because once you start trying to do that, then you start getting into the problem where the game isn't innovative enough and it's not changing anything, and it's not coming out as good as a product as the other one was. So there's one game that's kind of on my radar that I'm a little bit weary about, and they just kind of announced it and confirmed it, and that's Far Cry 4.
Mm-hmm.
I love Far Cry 3. They did a fantastic job with Far Cry 3. I think it's a little early. They're saying that it's going to come out this year. It's still, it's not, it's been longer than a year, but it took them 3.5 years for them to come out with Far Cry 3 from Far Cry 2, and look at how good the game was. And now they're like trying to rush out Far Cry 4 to find that success again. Yeah. So that's what I don't want for, companies to do. But I think it's kind of a necessary evil that we see. If we really want to see things flourish, then we might just kind of have to bite the bullet on it a little bit.
Understandable, and obviously building the install base for the systems with those titles obviously makes it for people, more people to obtain, the games. But I guess my biggest thing is that it takes away from studios that put out fantastic games, that put out awesome titles, and it focuses them on, I would say, lackluster titles that really, don't deserve the amount of time and effort that's being put into them. Mr. G, I know you don't particularly play the video games that you buy,
Yeah,
but
some of them I do.
some of them you do, yes. But I know for a fact you don't buy Call of Duties. You don't buy into the Call of Duties. You don't buy into the Assassin's Creeds. So from a strictly, consumer standpoint, to you, what would you evaluate those games as? Would you evaluate them as purchasable, as $60 worth?
I mean, I don't. It's not a genre that I'm particularly interested in. The FPSs I played, I played FPSs years ago, and still play Battlefield 1942 here and there, as well as a couple rounds of GoldenEye whenever that was there. But I'm sort of a lapsed yearly buyer because there was a period when I bought the varying sports games year after year. It's like, okay, it's like Madden's coming out, I'll buy Madden. It's like, oh, NCAA's coming out, I'll buy Madden and NCAA. So I started with Madden and NCAA, and then it was, oh, it's like Madden NCAA and NASCAR, and it's like Madden NCAA and baseball. It's like, so by, after a series of 4 or 5 years, you were ending up buying like a couple games that you bought already, essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's varying different things that I think I'm gonna touch on that you commented previously. Just because the console sells well and there are more console sales and more games are made doesn't mean the games are quality games. Because every year you can find it's like, okay, here's a whole bunch of games, but here are the actual games that people want to play.
Yeah.
It's like you can have 100 releases and have 10 releases that most people are gonna buy, which is a 10% rate there. I think the problem though is what happens is sameness and stagnation. It's like a lot of the times people think, oh, this is just another Call of Duty, or it's another sports game. In that case, there are times when they change the games and there are new features that are added. It's like Madden. It's like, well, most people think Madden was a roster update. There were years where Madden actually integrated new features and added new features.
Yeah.
I remember they added, not similar to Road to the Show in MLB 14, the show, but they added franchise, an online franchise came after that, but they also added like a player mode where you played as a career player. It's like that wasn't like an RPG element, but not necessarily. So it's like that was added, but it was not really touched upon so much, because if you're buying Madden to play with another person or to play online nowadays. Yeah, it's like I haven't bought most yearly things in a while now. It's like the only yearly things I buy are PlayStation Plus and Live Gold, Xbox Live Gold.
With them.
Huh?
You get something with them, and it like all like.
Yeah, I perceive a value in having them. Correct.
And that like perception of value, depending on, like I said, actually like everybody said, depending on what it is, really. It comes back, especially when you work in an industry where when you work at your favorite video game retail store and they take in trade-ins and someone comes in and they trade in their Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 towards Ghost, and they're like, why am I only getting $9 for it, if that? And there's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and now Modern Warfare 3, and now you're buying the next iteration. The next iteration is going to be $60. It devalues the game quicker as soon as they announce the next one. Unless the game is so phenomenal and it blows people away, it's going to drop like a rock.
But that's also that's harder to come by for the serialized titles.
Yeah.
But I mean that's a conversation for another day.
It is. But on the other side of the spectrum, where you have the yearly release games, people also complain about the games that take 4 or 5 years to develop. But when we get those games, we're really happy. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, like The Legend of Zelda's, like
33 million copies.
All of those games. I think really what it ends up coming down to is the gaming community is fickle.
Very.
What?
Yeah, right? It just dawned on me. they're fickle, and they got so used to games being available. The title, or not the title, the selection of video games was so vast that now that we're in this new era of gaming, people don't know what to do when, the only games out are 15 or 16 titles, and they don't really want to play them because it's Madden, FIFA, Assassin's Creed, Infamous, Dead Rising, Titanfall. Like, there's nothing really that grabs everybody's attention because they look at the roster for the PS3, the 360, and I'm going to say the Wii. I'm going to humor myself and say the Wii. And they're like, wow, there's like over, 250 titles right here that I could just pick up and play.
Yeah, but that's a cycle thing at that point. It's like, yeah, if you're 5 years in and the console's been out there, there is going to be more. There's going to be more to play. That's basic math there.
Yeah, it's again, that's a discussion for another time.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about the games that do it well, the titles that really deserve their $60 price tag. But what are the titles that you guys think aren't exactly what you think should be $60?
I mean, it's all the same stuff that's doing well. They're all kind of the same ones that aren't doing so well. There's every single Call of Duty might not be good, each year, and the same thing with the Assassin's Creed. They might not be doing good each year, and I think the sports titles, you're not going to be able to help it. They're just going to come out. That's how it works, and
they sell.
They'll just keep doing it. I think those are the ones, and you've seen that. You've seen the ones that have failed. You've seen the games that have done bad. Like NBA Live, it went away for 3 years and then it tried to come back and it's still terrible.
Yep.
So it's like you've seen the games that have done it really, really poorly, and then they've gone away, and they tried to bring it back and it didn't so much work. But it's something, like I said, it's something that we just kind of have to live with at this point, and it's as much as we want people to spend some more time and and all that, that's a whole different question. You have the multiple teams that are working on it, but I think it's overall, it's something that we just kind of have to roll with at this point, in the gaming industry.
Yeah. If every game was made like the serial releases, do you think we would run into any games like The Last of Us, like Dark Souls, like Legend of Zelda? Do you think it's just the fact that the studios are trying to meet the demand of the consumers and pump out the content prior to it being completely polished and the best that it could possibly be? Or do you think the studios could actually do it? They could put out a game that is quality on a yearly basis.
I think the situation is it's partly, the demand dictates. It's like, oh, it's like, when's the next Call of Duty? When's the next Mario? When's the next Zelda? It's like what the fans are looking for, but what Call of Duty and the other mainly serialized, the sports games for EA and others, and the Assassin's Creed series for Ubisoft, what they really bring to the table is they're going to sell. The company knows they're going to sell. The investors know they're going to sell. It's like that allows, Activision Blizzard, it allows EA, it allows Ubisoft to spend, that revenue on more riskier endeavors. Let's say like Watch Dogs, or which has been in development for a long time, or some of the other games that EA is doing. It's like those yearly titles aren't just. It's like, while we say, oh, they're bad because they're coming out yearly and people are paying money for it, it allows them to be more, it allows them to take more risks with their money.
I never thought about it like that. That is actually a better way to look at it than what I was doing. I was looking at them like coasters. They are essentially $60 coasters. Unfortunately, I actually haven't seen those.
We need them, and then we don't necessarily. Some people don't like them to be there, but like I said, it's kind of a necessary evil at this point.
Yeah.
You know, like Matt
I
said,
mean,
it lets them take risks on other things, which is a good thing. So
it's the same thing with Nintendo. It's like people want Mario, people want Zelda, but it's like there are the other franchises that here and there, it's like, you know what, we're gonna do, a Star Fox game, we're gonna do an F-Zero game, we're gonna do, you know, I don't know, we're gonna do photos with Mario for the
Yeah.
3DS. We're
Half-Life
gonna
3
do
confirmed.
some interesting stuff here with either lapsed franchises or games that we don't produce, annually or pretty regularly. So we have that flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm s- I'm not gonna say I'm sold on it, but it is still a better way of looking at it. You guys are looking at it better than I am. I guess I'm a negative Nancy at this point.
shame on you.
Shame on me, yeah. I guess it's all the talk of, oh, they just rehash video games, or, oh, it's just, there's nothing new. But when it comes down to it, nobody wants anything new. They want things that are comfortable. They want things that are safe, that they
Yeah.
know won't shake, you know, the foundations of what they hold as, enjoyable gaming. Because when Wii came out, it sold really well, and now people don't like it. So if they changed it up, if they changed it to where Madden used the Kinects or something, and it wasn't a title that came out, every year, people probably would take to it, but it wouldn't be the sales that we see Madden 25 or Madden 15, having.
Well, but in that point, it's like, the Wii version and the other versions were not feature parity. They didn't have the same features. They didn't have the same graphics, and they didn't have the same online capabilities. It was you were essentially getting a completely different game for that had the same people and characters in
Rest in peace, Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection.
Rest in peace.
it. Yeah.
Such a sad day. But um, any closing thoughts on the topic at hand?
Not really. I think everything's been said. I
Yeah.
think we're good.
I think, yeah, that was a fairly short topic. It was good. It's a lot shorter than the other ones, which is nice. It gives everybody a break from having to listen to us for 30 minutes. But the exciting news is E3, second week in June. You can
Yeah.
stay tuned with us. We should have, I'm going to go out on a limb and say daily videos, if not, every other day during the conference, at least with the big three, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. You can expect me, being the Nintendo person I am, to give you all the updates that you need and I need. So tune in to Gamecast. What is it, June 7th to the... Or no, it's
It's
June...
second week
Press
in June.
press conferences are the 9th. The show's the 10th through the 12th.
There we go. So stay tuned. And wait, when is the Smash Bros. Invitational?
The 9th.
The 9th? So the
Oh
9th...
no, sorry, the 10th. The 10th
Is
is
it the 10th?
after the press conference.
So 9th to the 12th. And we will have all the coverage for you in one condensed location, so you don't have to search through the internet, because everybody knows that you get lost looking at cats and funny meme photos in one convenient location for you all. With that, the closing words I have is, what is everybody playing? What are the video games that are occupying your time right now?
Street
Matt.
Pass Me Plaza.
Street Pass Me Plaza. Not Zoo Tycoon?
Here and there.
Oh, man.
You got it, Mr. G.
Yep.
You got it.
He's a hardcore gamer.
Yeah.
What about you?
Myself, I'm still blazing through that Mario Golf World Tour, which I should have a review up for pretty soon. And then also I'm pretty darn close to beating Child of Light, another fantastic game, and I'm gonna have a review up for that probably within the next day or two as well. Those two have been taking up my time.
Me, I just beat Wolfenstein: The New Order. I'm kind of at a loss for. I'm not playing anything at this point in time. Like, I should have a video game system in my hand right now, but I got nothing to play. There's really no game that I haven't beat up to this point. So when Mario Kart comes out, that's what I'll be playing. I'm playing the Mario Kart demo at GameStop every day.
It's a good demo.
Every day. But thank you guys for tuning into GameCast. Please, please, please comment below. Tell us what you thought about the video, or give us suggestions about topics. We would love to know what you guys would like to hear about, or if you guys want to ever jump in on the conversation, let us know. Tweet at us at GameCast, or follow us on Facebook on the GameCast Facebook page. And guess what, Mr. G, just for you, that's GameCast with 4s. Said it again? 4s. So please, click subscribe. It'll be somewhere in this general vicinity, in this window. Click subscribe for future reviews and videos. And as always, with me I have Brad, Mr. G,
see everybody,
and myself, James. You guys have a nice night.